It's about to make landfall. It's barely offshore. It is still a tropical storm. Maximum sustained winds are still 60 miles per hour, gusts to 70. And it's essentially about 25 miles east-northeast of Charleston, South Carolina. So it's going to get to a point southwest of Raleigh by tomorrow evening, and then southwest of us by Friday morning, and then really accelerate to the north and to the east. It's going to go west of us. That really hasn't changed over the past 36 hours, which means heaviest axis of rain kind of on this area, this track line in red, or a little bit to the east. And anytime we have that track to our west, to the right of that line or east of that line, we run the risk of severe weather, and that would be Thursday night into Friday morning. So here's the radar. Look at the feeder bands. Look at the tremendous rains down 95. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So there's Charleston, and the storm essentially is right around McClellanville, and it's just offshore. It's going to make landfall really in the next, I think, half an hour. It's barely creeping, but it's going to get its center over shore, and that's what landfall is. Notice the bands, though, are even north of Myrtle Beach. So it's going to be still a rainmaker for the southeast and for us. Now, we do have a flood watch in effect west, and that goes until 8 o'clock on Friday. We've also had some flooding tonight. Earlier, we had Frederick County had a flood warning. Loudoun County now has a flash flood warning from this system. That's not from Debby. That's from a system that's on top of us now, kind of a draped cold front. Eventually, we'll see Debby tomorrow. Now, here's Futurecast. 6 o'clock in the morning. This just updated. Yeah, it's going to be a miserable and a slow commute, and not great for the campers either. And some kind of tropical. 9 o'clock in the morning, heaviest downpours down to the south, Manassas, down toward Culpeper. It lifts northward by 12:30, and the Nats have actually changed their game time to 12:05. They actually might get that in. By 6:30, showers off to the north and also to the west. And then by the time it's 10 o'clock, so about 24 hours from now we have some heavy activity back in the Shenandoah Valley. We'll come back, we'll track that for you Thursday night, and also maybe have some good news as it may exit a little ahead of time.
Okay, we can take some good news. Thank you, Top. In the meantime, let's zero in on how our neighbors are getting ready for the next few days.
Yeah, one of the main concerns is flooding, and our Katie Lusso is in Old Town Alexandria for us tonight. Katie, this is a spot that we often see flooding.
It is, and right now you can see there are sandbags piled up outside of this restaurant right here on the corner of King Street, and you can see they've even got a sign up in the door that this particular door is closed because, as you mentioned, they expect that flooding. So while a lot of the people we spoke with tonight weren't super concerned, as you can see, they are still making an effort to make sure they are prepared for any impacts.
That I'll be there.
On this warm Wednesday evening, it's business as usual in Old Town Alexandria. Concerns not exactly high, but nonetheless, the businesses are taking no chances, many with sandbags up against their doors. About 2.5 miles away on South Quaker Lane, some of our neighbors picked up free sandbags given out by the city.
Obviously rain coming, and we've had some water sometimes come in a stairwell.
Bill Krieger has lived in Alexandria more than 40 years.
I live at the bottom of a hill near King Street, and so a lot of rain comes down.
So he's taking precautions, not out of fear.
Not concerned, but I just want to keep my basement dry.
Back in Old Town, that same sentiment shared by Bennett Moore. He's the manager of Big Wheel Bikes on Prince Street. He says flooding in Old Town is a pretty common occurrence.
Ducks are swimming on Prince Street, and you'll see a few kayaks down on King. So yeah, it definitely gets, it's tidal. It's been like that forever, so I'm so used to it.
While used to it, he's not dismissing the possibility that it could become serious.
Right here, Isabel, September 2003.
In 2003, Hurricane Isabel caused major flooding and damage.
I learned to take the hurricanes seriously.
So while not extremely concerned about Tropical Storm Debby, he's still taking some precautions, but for now, in Old Town Alexandria, it's just another Wednesday night.
I know he better be good.
Now, if you are in need of a sandbag, don't worry, you still have time to grab one. Tomorrow, the city of Alexandria, they're going to be giving out some more sandbags over on South Quaker Lane. We've put up all the information for you on WUSA9.com. In Old Town Alexandria, I'm Katie Lasso, back to you.
Everybody in good spirits, even though they know what is likely to happen there. All right, Katie, thank you.
Yeah, Tropical Storm Debby has already left its mark on large parts of the South. You can see here in Huger, South Carolina, people were forced to wade through flooded streets. They've already had several inches of rain, and even more is expected.
Tonight, Debbie's being blamed for at least 6 deaths, including a 19-year-old who died when a tree fell on his home in Georgia. Meanwhile, tens of thousands of people across the South are still without power.
All right, so now is a great time to download our free WUSA 9 app to get started. Just point your phone's camera at that QR code on your screen. If you're doing it in bed, you may have to zoom in. When that link pops up, just click on it and don't forget to turn on push notifications. That way you won't miss any breaking or weather impact alerts. All right, in the meantime, we're staying on top of the trial involving a D.C. employee accused of shooting and killing a 13-year-old boy back in January of last year.
41-year-old Jason Lewis says he shot Karan Blake in self-defense. And this is video we captured of Lewis leaving court a few hours ago. No comment from him or his lawyer.
Now, family members from both sides were there for the second day of this trial. The jurors also heard from several witnesses today, including the D.C. police officer who arrived first and found Blake just lying on the ground